Hello XRP fans, I have an informative XRP video you're not going to want to miss. We're going to go over a few different topics such as BRICS nations and how they're creating their own payment system. I'm going to help clear up some misinformation that's going around in this video. We also have some exciting news over one of Ripple's partners. They're expanding their partnership. We're going to see what that's all about, and tokenized gold and silver is coming to the XRP ledger Q3 this year. That is definitely great news. We're also going to check out BRICS Pay, and we're going to speculate. Could it be interoperable with the XRP ledger? That would be great news. More assets will be tokenized on the XRP ledger. That is a fact, and it will happen soon, as an institutional adoptional wave is upon us. If you're an XRP fan, you come to the right video. Subscribe, hit the like, share with friends and family, because the more people that learn about XRP, the more people can invest. Now is the time to purchase that D'CENT hardware wallet. Through Token Topics affiliate links, you can receive an incredible discount. The purchasing links are in the description. If you're looking for a safe wallet to store your XRP, your Quant, your HBAR, XDC, and other great assets, look no further. Again, the purchasing links are in the description. Great news from Ripple X. They're thrilled to announce the launch of the XRP Ledger Japan and Korea Fund, designed to accelerate innovation on the XRP Ledger in these vibrant regions. This strategic initiative aims to foster innovation, collaboration, and community engagement through corporate partnerships, collaborating with leading companies to integrate and expand XRP Ledger applications, developer grants, providing financial support and resources to talented developers to build groundbreaking solutions on the XRP Ledger, and startup investments, investing in promising startups that are leveraging the XRP Ledger to create innovative products and services and community growth, empowering local communities by supporting educational programs, meetups, and other initiatives to increase awareness and adoption of blockchain technology. Tokenized gold on the XRP ledger. How cool is that? Meld Gold to launch RWAs on the XRP ledger. Meld Gold and Ripple are partnering to bring RWAs to the XRP ledger, delivering one of the world's oldest currencies using one of the world's most reliable blockchains. This collaboration aims to deliver greater access, utility, and efficiency to RWAs by offering institutional-grade functionality and built-in features to enable secure, efficient, and scalable financial services and use cases. It will also offer businesses and developers building on the XRPL opportunities to integrate Meld assets and offer utility to the inevitable flow of users looking for better ways to own and interact with RWAs. What and when? So Meld Gold's initial integration will deliver fungible gold and silver assets on the XRP ledger the third quarter of this year. Each token represents 1 gram of the corresponding precious metals held with industry leaders such as MKS, PAMP, and Imperial Vaults. Meld Gold worked closely with the precious metals and alternative physical asset industries to deliver infrastructure needed to bring a range of assets on-chain. With live accountability of metal held and its location, Meld Gold promises to deliver greater transparency in Q3. Additional upgrades will follow, including the first implementation of patent pending work on minimized trust systems for connecting physical items to the blockchain. Utilizing blockchain technology offers significant advantages such as immediate global accessibility, simple and secure ownership, accountability, and standardized data rails for interoperability and velocity. A key component often overlooked is how the assets are connected to the blockchain and precisely how they're accounted for. Precious metals, being physical assets, always require trust, but minimizing this to only the required level is crucial. Meld Gold is subject matter expertise in alternative physical assets, and blockchain technology has led to the development of this pioneering technology slated for release in 2025. How about that? Check out this expansion on this partnership between Ripple and Arcax. They are expanding their partnership to bring hundreds of millions of dollars in tokenized real-world assets to the XRP ledger over the next year. This move solidifies the XRP ledger as a leading blockchain for RWA tokenization. Let's learn more. Ripple and ArcX have expanded their partnership. ArcX is the UK's first financial conduct authority regulated digital assets exchange broker and custodian. Say that 3 times fast. They announced an extension to their existing collaboration, which is expected to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized RWAs onto the XRP ledger over the coming year, and establish the XRP ledger as one of the leading blockchains for RWA tokenization. ArcX works with leading financial institutions to enable Theme to tokenize their financial RWAs. As a result of this collaboration, financial institutions will be able to select the XRP ledger to tokenize their RWAs, creating opportunities for numerous downstream use cases for these assets. The agreement represents an evolution of the relationship between Ripple and ArcX, which was established in 2022 when ArcX collaborated with Medico to offer digital asset custody services to its clients. Medico was acquired by Ripple in mid-2023. So Ripple and ArcX share a compliance-first mindset. Both companies work proactively with regulators and policymakers around the world to bring the benefits of crypto and blockchain technology to the world's global financial infrastructure. As first and only FCA-regulated digital securities exchange, custodian, and brokerage, ArcX is uniquely positioned to provide its clients with the means to derive the benefits of DeFi through RWA tokenization, all underpinned by the strength and capabilities of the XRP ledger. Now I want to show you a clip from a video I made over a year ago, pointing out to some recent news that BRICS nations could use XRP. Now, I want to clarify some things. They're not going to be using it as their native ledger. They're not going to integrate it as their infrastructure of their payment systems, especially with Russia. They're going to be hesitant to use American technology. But now when it comes to interoperability, will it interoperate with their technologies? The answer is yes. And another thing to note is that a lot of these BRICS nations, banks within these BRICS nations are already Ripple enabled, which is excellent news for XRP holders. This is BRICS Pay. It's a decentralized multi-currency digital international payments system. About BRICS Pay projects. So BRICS Pay is a joint venture between 5 BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that was launched in 2018 by the BRICS Business Council. Among the top priorities in the annual report, the team behind the venture consists of individuals from all 5 countries. This includes experts in payments, banking technology, and other related fields. They are responsible for developing the platform, creating new features, and providing customer support. Additionally, the team is responsible for managing relationships with partners, governments, and other stakeholders. So again, the XRP ledger, whatever technologies they're bringing to the table, it's most likely going to interoperate with it. This is why I stated, just when you ever hear news about, XRP going to $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a coin, Russia is going to be using XRP, really discern and go through the information and see if it's correct. But the truth is, again, it's most likely going to interoperate because interoperability. Through the use of open APIs, the BRICS Pay system will ensure that customers have access to their accounts no matter what payment system they use. Funds can move between systems faster and more securely. So, again, this is great news as far as the BRICS. Okay, BRICS banks, a lot of them are actually Ripple customers, and I've gone through that in videos in the past. So again, it goes back to the interoperability, whatever payment system they're going to use. But as far as like for their native ledger, it's most likely not going to be the XRP ledger. And I'm just XRP ledger Apex was a success. This is from Jazz Tekar, Vice President Engineering. He's pictured with David Schwartz. He says, that's a wrap. XRPL Apex was a resounding success this week in Amsterdam. Phenomenal keynotes from the likes of Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz and many others from the community. Tokenization of real-world assets was a major theme. It's a real thing as large financial institutions have begun issuance on public chains. Here's to next year. All right, everybody, I'm going to end with this. We're going to hear David Schwartz speaking at the latest Apex event in Amsterdam, and he's going to give a rundown on a bunch of different topics involving XRP and the XRP ledger, tokenization, and more. Enjoy.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. It is so great to be here in Amsterdam again. City that's so bike-friendly. Even your canals have bicycle lanes. Amazing. Okay, maybe I made that up. So this is, I think, the fourth Apex where I come on, I talk about where we are, how we got here, where we think we should be going. We will not break with tradition. I'm going to do that again this year. But I just want to start by telling you why I'm so much more excited now than I have been before. First of all, it's because, this crowd, just the number of people, these events always energize me. But also, I'm an old guy. I lived through the internet revolution. In the late 80s, early 90s, I kind of felt like I was the only person who knew the internet existed, or what became the internet existed. The technology was nascent, and internet culture was a bunch of nerds, in some garage somewhere, and then there was popular culture. Today, internet culture and popular culture are the same thing, right? There is no distinction between internet culture and popular culture. We're starting to see that happen with blockchain right now. We're starting to see that turn, whether it's blockchain politics becoming an issue in the election in the United States, whether it's the Bitcoin ETFs and the ETFs launching, stable coins, institutional projects that are enabling DeFi ecosystems on the blockchain. We're starting to see that path to mass adoption really happen. We're not the only people who know about blockchain anymore, right? It used to be that the only people who knew about blockchain or cared about crypto were the people who were in the space. But there's people in the finance space now, people in computer science. They all understand what's happening here. And that's exactly what led to mass adoption with the internet. So let's talk about where the XRP ledger has gone in the past, almost 12 years now? It is fully decentralized. There's more than 600 nodes processing transactions and maintaining the ledger. And importantly, each of those nodes enforces all of the system rules. And unlike on most other blockchains, those nodes are enforcing censorship resistance as well. There's more than 120 validators. We're probably the only major blockchain with no in-protocol incentives for block production or running a validator. People run validators because they want the network to work. They want the network to be robust. They want the network to be reliable and decentralized. They're run by individuals, businesses, universities. There's over 1,750 apps, exchanges on mainnet, built by a diverse set of global developers, many of whom in the room with us today. More than 2.8 billion transactions have been processed. For some time, more than 50% of transactions being processed on public blockchains were on the XRP ledger. It's gone down a lot since then because the rest of the universe has grown. But the XRP ledger has continued to process transactions at that high rate. No transaction has ever been discriminated against, filtered, censored, misexecuted, dropped, mishandled, right? It is a fair system because every single node on the network enforces that type of fairness. There's more than 5 million active XRP wallet holders around the world, and that's a real number. On a lot of other blockchains, for example, on UTXO-based blockchains like Bitcoin, a single user probably has a number of addresses. And so the address numbers may be very, very large, but those addresses don't actually reflect users, right? So those 5 million are probably real people who are using the XRP ledger, and they're using the ledger directly, right? There's a lot of people who hold Bitcoin, hold Ether, who will never use those blockchains directly. These are people who are actually potential customers for projects built on the XRP ledger because they have access to the ledger. They have their money on chain. Market capitalization of XRP is in excess of $30 billion. Makes it about the 6th largest cryptocurrency, depending on exactly what you consider to be a cryptocurrency. The number of contributors building projects of different types on the XRP ledger is enormous. As you can see on the slide, We have a large group of companies that are building wallets, custody, compliance, and security. These are tools that enable people to hold XRP, use the XRP ledger, participate in the ecosystem. Infrastructure, tools, and analytics companies. There's a lot of stuff going on the XRP ledger. The transaction rate is high. If you can't understand what's going on, you can't interact. Wallets need backends, right? There needs to be reliable hardware infrastructure. The gaming and metaverse space is a little bit on the small side, but it's been very exciting and interesting. Companies like Forte building interesting metaverse projects. And of course, marketplaces, DEXs, real-world asset tokenization and lending. These are projects building on top of the issued assets, the NFT technology, the DEX, the XRP Ledger's DEX. And then, of course, core ledger development. Ripple can't be the only people building on the core ledger. Interoperability is extremely important. I'll talk more about that later, but we're not going to have a compelling ecosystem if we have a bunch of separate islands that have different functionality that don't connect. That's not going to be a great user experience. And then payments and stablecoins and on-ramps and off-ramps are absolutely essential. For most of us, it's not difficult for us to get money onto or off of the blockchain. A lot of us are privileged enough that we have money that we can play with on a blockchain that we don't even really think about as real money. In the early days of Bitcoin, we jokingly said, well, I have my bank account and then I have this magic internet money, right? It is great to be able to be in a position where you can do that. But realistically, if we're trying to adopt to most of the world, it's going to have to be the money that they get paid at their job. It's going to have to be the money they use to pay their rent. It's going to have to be the money that they use to buy groceries because that's the money they have. They don't have a giant pile of money to mess around with this cool new technology. And so we have to connect. If we don't connect, we will not be able to get mass adoption. It'll always be limited to a bunch of privileged rich people. That's not exciting. So I want to take a step back and I want to talk about that inflection point that I was talking about and what's going on right now. And one of the places where you can see that the most easily, I think, is with stablecoins. The current market cap of stablecoins is around $160 billion, and it's growing so rapidly that number is, it's going to be obsolete by in months. It's expected to grow to almost $3 trillion by 2028. And the next statistic is, I think, the most important one. Remember I was talking about bleeding over into popular culture. It's great if everybody in the Bitcoin space thinks Bitcoin's great, if everybody in the crypto space thinks cryptocurrency is going to take over, everyone in the DeFi space thinks DeFi is going to be the next big thing. What about people outside the space? 97% of institutional investors believe that tokenization is going to significantly affect asset management. These are people who they're not Bitcoin people, they're not crypto people, they're not blockchain people, they're not DeFi people, they're institutional investors. These are some of the most conservative people in the world, right? And they think that the technologies that we're building are going to revolutionize their industry. That is that bleed over into popular culture. The market value of tokenized U.S. securities alone is $1.5 billion. This is a new space. So that is that number is probably different by the time I get off this stage. And of course, the growth of tokenized assets, $16 trillion forecast by 2030. I think that's probably going to be conservative. It just makes sense to get into these spaces. If DeFi spaces and tokenized spaces are where the investors are going to be or where the money is going to be, that's got to be where the assets are, right? The assets are going to chase the money. So what does Ripple think that we need for the XRP ledger to benefit from this? Well, we need core financial primitives, right? We can't have real-world asset tokenization if we don't have primitives to launch tokenized assets, right? We can't have on-chain lending if we don't have primitives for on-chain lending. And real utility has to be the guiding principle. We have to build the technologies that are the things that the market wants, right? We have to build a product that fits the market demand. Extremely important that people can build and launch compliant projects. And this is the key thing. We want enterprise projects that are compliant, but that bring customers into blockchains, right? If enterprises use the XRP ledger just for payments, that's great. That's not a bad thing. But that's not going to bring their customers onto the XRP ledger. If they use the XRP ledger to launch tokenized loans, that's going to bring the people who are going to fund those loans and who want a return onto the ledger. That's the difference in the sort of institutional DeFi type of adoption and the traditional institutional adoption that we've seen. We really see that with stablecoins, right? A stablecoin is probably one of the most regulated products in the crypto space. If you look at companies like Circle, Tether, the forthcoming Ripple stablecoin, these are going to be heavily regulated products, right? Most of us will never be able to get a stablecoin directly from its issuer or redeem a stablecoin with its issuer. But there are millions of people who can hold USDT, hold USDC, hold the forthcoming Ripple stablecoin, who knows what jurisdiction though. They'll be in real DeFi ecosystems. That's the difference. But it won't work if everybody has to build their own compliance. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. And developers have to have great experiences. One of the biggest problems in the XRP ledger space is that there just are not a lot of people who are able to develop in that space. It has to be easy. It has to be simple. The documentation has to be good. The support has to be there. The tools have to be there. But if we can build those four things, we can have the foundation for an institutional-grade blockchain with the XRP ledger leading in these institutional DeFi applications where regulated products can enable true DeFi ecosystems. We don't want to launch a regulated product on a public blockchain as an island that doesn't connect. There's no reason to do that. But it's obvious why you wouldn't launch USDC on a private blockchain, right? The whole point of a stablecoin, the whole point of tokenized securities, I want to use them as collateral for loans. I want to rehypothecate them so that other people can, maybe I want to tranche them so I can have different investments with different risk profiles. I want to put together a DeFi product that's backed by an institutional stablecoin, that's backed by tokenized securities, that's backed by real commercial grade lending and real estate lending. That's what the XRP ledger could do. So let's talk about where we've gotten and where we're going to build that. I'm going to go into more detail on each of these, but I just want to give a broad description of them on one slide so that you can sort of get the vision for where we're going and where we are. So if you get too down in the weeds, you kind of lose the big picture. So big picture, we have the automated market maker. It launched in March of this year. There was a little bit of drama around the launch, as many of you know. I see some smiling faces. I'm glad we're past that, but it's working very nicely now. The lending protocol has been released. We'll talk about that in more detail, but that's another example of that sort of, that'll be very regulated lending. There'll be commercial real estate lending, but it will be tokenized on the back end, so it will enable a DeFi ecosystem. Decentralized identity, if every project has to launch its own identity infrastructure, it's just going to be terrible for everyone. Oracles are critical for things like over-collateralized stablecoins, tokenized collateral. You need to have pricing information. Multi-purpose tokens will be proposed in the third quarter. It'll fill a gap in the way assets are represented on the XRP ledger. I'll talk more about that. And the EVM sidechain. So I'm going to go into more detail of all of these, but I think this is a roadmap for institutional DeFi. So let's start with the automated market maker, something that is extremely near and dear to my heart. As I've said many times, I've been experimenting with trading and volatility harvesting and different types of strategies for probably 30 years now. There is a tremendous amount of volatility in digital assets, and just like logically there shouldn't be, because volatility is exploitable. There are trading strategies that profit from volatility. It's really simple, basically. You sell high and you buy low. It literally is that simple. And that's what the automated market maker does. It executes a trading strategy. But the most interesting thing, I think, about the XRP ledger's automated market maker is how it integrates with the other functions on the XRP ledger into what we've been calling the super DEX. The XRP ledger has order books. Some people call them central limit order books or CLOBs. And what that means is people place offers to buy or sell one asset for another. It's a trade. And they sit on order books to be taken by other people. Many blockchains can't implement order books because most trades are not taken. This is just the way markets work. Most people who place an offer to trade, nobody takes that offer. The price changes before anyone takes it, and they rescind the offer. If it costs you $4 or even $2 to place an offer, then order books will be very, very limited to only really major assets. In fact, in some cases, there just aren't any assets that big, and order books just don't work. And so on most EVM-based chains, you just don't have order books. You only have AMMs. The XRP ledger has order books. These are very capital efficient for popular assets, but they're not very good for unpopular assets because somebody has to actively make a market. These facilitate manual market making. So I can make a market between XRP and a USD stablecoin by placing offers into the order books. But someone has to do that. And there's not going to be anyone who's going to do that for hundreds of assets. Automated market makers take that long tail of assets. So those on-chain order books operate 24/7. And the automated market maker executes a trading strategy that harvests volatility. So if you have an automated market maker between, say, XRP and a USD stablecoin, it will get revenue not just from market making, but also from volatility harvesting.